Sorry, Council, you'll have to just give me 1 minute there, just letting some people in from the waiting room. Just one reminder there, Council, just before we get started, the Echo ID is posted on the slides there. You will want to enter that into your Echo account. We're still waiting on quite a few people just to get into the Echo there, but we'll have another chance before the roll call as well, and we'll just get started in 1 minute. Perfect. The time is now 7:10 on August 19th. I hereby call this meeting to order. Welcome everyone to the August meeting of General Council. I'm very glad to see all of you via Zoom here tonight. Just a reminder, again, we will go back, but the Echo ID and the voting ID will be posted in the agenda and in the slides there as well. So please access it as we'll have to do roll call very shortly. But before we begin this meeting, I would like to invite Councillor Antonelli to deliver the land acknowledgement for this meeting. So Councillor Antonelli, whenever you are ready there.
Hi, everyone. Before we begin, I'd like to acknowledge that Western University is located on the traditional lands of the Anishinaabe, Haudenosaunee, Lenape, and Attawandaron peoples, on lands connected with the London Township and Sombra Treaties of 1796 and the Dish One Spoon Covenant Wampum. A land acknowledgement is more than recognizing the land on which we meet. It is an opportunity to recognize the longstanding relationships Indigenous peoples have with this land. Sorry, longstanding relationships Indigenous people have with this territory, acknowledge the historical and ongoing injustices experienced by First Nations, Métis, and Inuit peoples, and reflect on our own responsibilities towards reconciliation. As student leaders, the decisions and discussions that we have in spaces like this can shape the experiences of students across our campus. I encourage us to consider how we can use our positions to listen to Indigenous voices, challenge misinformation, and support meaningful efforts towards reconciliation within our university community. With that, I would like to express my respect and gratitude to the Indigenous peoples who have cared for and continue to care for this land, and to recognize our shared responsibility to build more respectful relationships moving forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. I will once again remind Council that if there's any interest in delivering the land acknowledgement, please let me know and I'm able to send around the form again, as we'll be looking for acknowledgements for September, October, and November, and the rest of the months at this time. We'll now move into roll call. So Council, please proceed to Echo 360 to confirm your attendance for this meeting. Once again, that Echo ID is posted in the agenda and in the chat functions on Zoom. We'll give this a couple minutes for people to access Echo and get sorted there. So. Perfect. Perfect. We will now move into the approval of the agenda. Apologies there. We'll move into the approval of the agenda for this meeting. Via show of hands on Zoom, do I have a mover and do I have a seconder? I recognize Councillor Dunn and Councillor Antonelli. Are there any questions to the agenda? Are there any amendments to the agenda? Are there any objections to voting on the agenda? Seeing none at this time, I will once again invite council to proceed to Echo 360 to vote. Sorry, I'm seeing some issues in the chat there for voting options on Echo there. Are councilors unable to see the approval of the agenda option?
Yeah, the current one's missing, and I at least got the initial one for attendance, but the current one is not showing up now.
Okay. Um, could I get a brief motion for just a 5-minute recess while we get this going? I see Councillor Hamilton and Councillor Abdel Rahman. We will take 5 for this and just make sure that the echo is sorted for you. So this meeting is recessed until 7:23. We will be right back with you and fix that for you. We're just going to update the echo session so that it's reflective of the motions on the floor right now. So while we do that, just keep an eye on the chat and in the agenda, and I will let you know as soon as possible that we have that updated. Hi, Council. Just flagging that we do have an updated Echo ID and meeting session for you there. This one has the fixed questions for us. So please use that session ID, re-log into the session, and then once everybody's back on, we'll start the meeting up again. Perfect. It seems like most people have found their way over to the new Echo ID. So I will say that the time is now 7:27. I call this meeting back to order. Once again, we are on the approval of the agenda for this meeting. We have taken a mover and a seconder. Um, there were no questions to this agenda. There were no amendments to this agenda. There were no objections to voting on this agenda. So I will once again invite council to proceed to Echo 360 to vote on the approval of the agenda for this meeting. Perfect. The motion carries. We will now move into the approval of the previous minutes. Again, via show of hands via Zoom, I will take a mover, Councillor Dunn, and a seconder, Councillor Abdelrahman. With that said, are there any questions to the previous minutes? Are there any amendments to the previous minutes? Are there any points of debate about the previous minutes? And are there any objections to voting on the previous minutes? Seeing none, I will once again invite council to proceed to Echo 360 to vote. Perfect. The motion carries there. We'll now move into comments from the chair. We have a few items of note for this month's council. For our presentations, we will have a written memo from our Board of Directors Chair, Sukhman Sunner, who was ratified at the last meeting of council and is unable to join us for this meeting. The written memo was sent out as part of this month's agenda package. You should have received an email from me earlier. If there are any questions from the report, myself or President Shaw are able to take those back to Sukhman and the board. We are also joined by Rebecca, our lovely Senior Manager of Communications tonight, to present to Council about the USC's communications and the role Council may play in them. And as well, we will have our August executive reports, as is routine for Council. As for our motions for tonight, we have the ratification of the standing committee chairs and membership this month. A note that the Student Life Standing Committee did not elect a formal leadership team, and that will be deferred until the September meeting of the Standing Committee. If there is interest from any councillors in being part of this team, please let me know via email or via Slack. Following, we will have the approval of the executive reports. And lastly, we will have the approval of the amendments to the Ontario Undergraduate Student Alliance Policy and Procedure, which came up through Governance and Finance this month. As well, just a few reminders for Council. As we return to the school year and move into September, a reminder that the Summer Council authority ceases to apply. Please be aware that myself and the chairs will be strictly enforcing the Councillor Accountability and Discipline procedure for attendance. So please submit regrets and proxy forms by the respective deadlines. As well, I will be following up with counselors who still have outstanding trainings to complete after this meeting, so please keep an eye on your inbox for that. And a reminder for council that the call for agenda items period for the September meeting of council opens September 4th and runs until September 9th. If you intend to submit a motion for consideration at either the September general meeting or the standing committee meetings, please ensure you submit it during the appropriate timeline. That ends my comments for this meeting. We'll now move into the board report for this month. President Shaw, is there anything you would like to speak to from the report or any highlights perhaps from council?
Hi everyone, I hope you're all doing well. Thank you for being patient with us as we tune in on a 7 p.m. on I don't know what the date is today. Today is Wednesday. Yeah, not much from the board report that you would have seen. Sukhman Sanar, who is a board chair, unfortunately cannot make it today, but she has left a report that basically summarized what she spoke about at the last board meeting. The board is set to meet again in September, so until then, there should be no board reports. But if anyone has any questions, feel free to message me and I can get Sukhman to contact you back if I can answer them myself. So that's it for me. Thank you.
Thank you, President Shaw. With that said, are there any questions from this board report? Perfect. I don't see any, so we will move into the next presentations. Here we will move into the presentations for this meeting, and I will invite Rebecca, our Senior Manager of Communications, for her presentation. And Rebecca, before we get started there, did you want to share your screen or did you want me to go through this? Okay, awesome.
Yeah, I can share it.
Sure.
If you can give me permissions and then let me know when I'm good to go.
Yes, absolutely. You should be good there.
Okay, wonderful. Bear with me, everyone. Go back. Okay, can everyone see my presentation? All good, Braden? Okay.
I'm able to see it.
Wonderful, thank you. Hi, everyone. Thank you for allowing me to join Council this month. I will keep my presentation very brief. So as Braden mentioned, I'm Rebecca. I'm the Senior Manager of Communications here at the USC. So today I just wanted to run through a little bit about my department and kind of how we hope to engage and promote Council more this year. So a little bit about me. I've worked at the USC for the last 5 years. I actually started at InfoSource when I was a student here at Western many eons ago. So it's lovely to be back with the organization. I've worked in communications and PR for the last 10 plus years in a variety of different industries, but have found a home here in higher ed at the USC. Right now, my favorite show is Andor. I'm binging it with my husband, and I don't have a hobby because I have kids, so I hang out with them most of the time. I don't do any of what I do without my amazing communications team. So we have six full-time staff members, five USC interns, and one goose mascot. It's a very big team, and that is because we support all of the marketing and communications across the entire organization. So we support both all of the wonderful initiatives that our executives are planning for this year, as well as ongoing marketing and communication for our corporate side. So our F&B operations, the Spoke the Wave, the Cove, the Purple Store, and a lot of our services that run throughout the year. So part of our communication efforts, it happens in different ways. So we do a lot of social media strategy and communication, sponsorship and partner promotion, photography, videography, branding, graphics. Our lovely hype team kind of sits under my department as well, and it's been so exciting to see them grow. So everything you've kind of seen come out of the USC in any way, shape, or form has somehow touch my department at some point, and ends up looking like the stuff you see on the screen. But it starts like this, a crazy list that lives either on my wall or in my head. So we have a lot of great stuff coming up in September, coupled with a lot of the year-long campaigns that we work on. Um, Probably a lot of students engage with us on our social media accounts. We have a wide variety of them, but we have a lot of different communication touch points that my team and I try to use to reach students in different spaces. So we have our socials, we have our digital assets, so our website, the apps, the kiosks at the Spoke, which I'm excited for everyone to come back and see if you haven't seen them yet. The screens in our UCC building, we send out mass emails. We collaborate with Student Experience on their What's Up Western biweekly newsletter. We do a lot of in-person communication activations as well with our hype team or at our events and programming. You'll see our posters, our rave cards, and our stickers, hopefully all across campus. And then we have the lovely opportunity to do a lot of promotion and engagement within our own spaces. So the Spoke the Wave, the Cove, our main office. I kind of see the UCC as our building as well. So there's a lot of ways that we try to reach students and really push our reach across campus in the best way that we can, because we have all these touch points, but we have a lot of stuff we're trying to get in front of students. So being creative with where we can put things is always a fun challenge for us. So I'm selfishly going to promote our social channels here. So these are all the ones that my team oversees. So the main account, which we use for a lot of branding initiatives, high profile announcements, recaps, things like that. The events accounts is a great one to follow for all of our event information that we're building a large following on. Of course, we have our Spoke, Wave, and Cove accounts that'll have kind of a different lens on the content that they're promoting. The services account is a new one that we're launching this year so that our service promotion and information has a dedicated spot to live in. Some great feedback I got last year from students was we would post something on stories and then it would disappear in 24 hours. So we wanted to make sure we had a spot that we can direct students back to that had information on services like Purple Care, Mod, and working with Habiba and her team to put a lot of content on there this year. The Purple Store, which is our retail store, it's actually moving spaces in the lower level, so excited for people to come back to campus and see that. And then our clubs account, where we engage with our 15,000 plus club members and club executives to share information on like deadlines, any policies, and fun stuff like that. So please follow the accounts if you're not already, because this is where a lot of our communication will be coming out. So, why am I sharing this all with you? So this year, part of Steve's platform and something that I think falls under the roadmap theme of putting the U in USC is really to ensure that students know more about council. So I'm hoping to launch a bit of a council awareness campaign, so we can share all the work that you're doing with the student community. So a couple ways we'd like to do that. One is through a student leader newsletter. So this would have information after each council meeting, kind of a recap of what was discussed, what was, what motions went forward, updates on advocacy, maybe some event information. And my hope is that we can send it first to our USC bubble just to see what information is landing, how we can tweak it before we kind of share it widely with the student population. I'd like to start a calm Slack channel. This would be an opportunity for my team and I to reach out to you all on any opportunities to get involved in the content that we're creating. So we do photo shoots for Purple Store or the Wave Spoke Cove whenever we have new menu items. And we always love to include students in that content. So if anyone's interested in that, I think Braden had sent around maybe, I don't know how long ago now, but a form that you can fill out to let us know if this is something that you're interested in. So we can reach out to you directly, but always happy to share those opportunities wide and far. Also, our hype team booths a lot in the atrium. I'm sure you've seen them in previous years. Happy to have more bodies there when it's applicable, if that's of interest to people. My ask out is also promotional support to our faculties to help push our USC initiatives. And if there's a better way that we can reach you or engage with your faculty, like if you have a specific, communication channel that you use that maybe we don't know about, please let me know. I would love the opportunity to collaborate and see how we can get the really critical information in the hands of as many students as possible. We're also working on a council identifier, something like a pin. I know you guys get amazing sweatshirts towards the end of the year, but just a way for when you're out at USC events that students can recognize you as a counselor and come talk to you and engage with you. So it's a great opportunity as well for you to engage with your constituents. So this is kind of my high level overview. I'm hoping to distill it into kind of more actionable tactics as the year gets together. But if anyone would like to get involved or if you have questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. I'm always happy to hear from people of how we can really reach students and push the USC in different spaces. I think that is the end of it. So thank you all for your time. I'll open it up to questions if anyone has any at this moment. Let me stop sharing my screen too.
Are there any questions for Rebecca at this time?
You could also email me, or when I start that Slack channel eventually, you can message me there as well.
Perfect.
Okay. Thank you all. I will hop off now unless there was anything else, Braden. Sorry.
No, one thing that I would add is, like
Yeah.
you had said, Rebecca, if you wish to engage more with the communications department at the USC, there was a form that was sent around. If there's interest, or perhaps if you've missed it in your inbox, send me a Slack after this council meeting, and I'm happy to send that back to you in case you're looking to get more involved. But seeing no further questions, thank you for joining us tonight, Rebecca. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you very much. Have a great evening, everyone.
Take care. Perfect. We will now move into the executive reports for this meeting. Let me just share my screen here again. And I will invite President Shaw to begin.
Hi, everyone. I hope you were able to kind of take away some pieces of Rebecca's presentation, just to iterate kind of what she said. We're trying to really look at more opportunities for counselors to be more involved with showing what council is really. I know in the past, some councilors have kept their campaign accounts active, whereas some do not, but these are just further ways we're looking to engage the general student body with what council do. So we're always looking for engaged councilors to make a difference there. Presenting our executive reports for this month. I'm going to start off by reminding everyone of the roadmap themes if you were not present at our last council meeting in person. Just a quick reiteration of that. There's some good discussions around what a roadmap is and how we're going to report back on it. So we're going to kind of highlight these in this exec report and those moving forward as well. Our roadmap themes being your voice on and beyond campus. So that's the advocacy piece to the university and to our municipal, provincial, and federal stakeholders. Putting the U in the USC, how the students get more engaged with the USC and understanding that they have a bigger role than they play. Service and resource innovation, think about all the things that the USC does, our club system, the way they spoke, and how we can make them run better and more effectively. And finally, improving the student experience. So anything of programming sorts, anything that improves students' lives. So again, just going to remind everyone those roadmap things again. And now on to my slide now. Okay, so for my updates this month, I'll start off saying my best summer memory. I think that's kind of the fun fact that the execs are going to present on today. Over the summer, I've had a great opportunity to engage with alum all the way from 1 year ago to 33 years back. So 1 year ago, I guess Kathleen, Kat, as some of you might know, she now works in Ottawa for the federal government. Always good seeing her and talking with her and getting some advice and strategy for her as well. And just last weekend, actually, the execs and I were in Vancouver for the Student Union Development Summit. This is an annual student leader conference that is hosted by the Alma Mater Society at University of British Columbia. So it's their version of the UBC. While we were there, we were actually able to engage with a USC alum, a USC president from 33 years ago named Mike Burns. So it's just really interesting to see the diverse range and ages of our various USC alum, all the amazing stuff they get up to, and really asking them questions, understanding that, some problems, some issues have stayed the same even from 33 years ago. It's always very interesting to hear people's different perspectives, but also at the same time comes back to the same things, right? It's also very interesting to hear how the USC has grown in the last decades. And so I think this is why it's collectively my best summer memory. As for my outputs, I have some exciting updates to share with everyone. For the softs in the room, this was one of my platform item points about better soft transportation options. So Sophie and I, so Vice President Huck and I have started and worked on a soft Uber pilot. This is going to be a needs-based program that is going to be for all softs, so not just faculty softs, and really looking to help people get back home after all call for those who do not live on a shuttle line. The service will be housed by our USC staff, will be overseen by USC staff. And we have, I've allocated, and I'm going to use some of my presidential initiatives line budget to help fund this program as well. We are in communication with our Western collaborators and stakeholders to see how this project runs, to see how many uses there are. And we're very excited to kind of share this as a needs-based pilot to really help the softs who need to get back home the most, right? Obviously, every year we hear of softs who live let's say softs who live on a shuttle line, but softs who live 5 minutes away, 10 minutes away, or people who don't live on a shuttle line at all and live all the way in South London, right? So we're going to see how this goes, and we're excited to see it go into play. Next of my output, the software pilot going back there, you can see that we've kind of used the emojis to remind counselors of kind of what platform they go into. So this is an innovation of the services that we do. This will work in tandem with a regular shuttle line service, so that's not taken away. Just an innovation of the money that we use into some of these contracts, as well as you in the USC, right? From all my feedback from campaigning, from other softs, I've heard that this is a very key thing that we need to work on. So this is that output. Next, I want to talk about professional school outreach. Again, from my consultations, I've learned that a lot of professional school students do not feel that they know too much about the USC. They feel like the USC does not really engage with them. We made the very intentional effort, myself and Vice President Gill have made the very intentional effort to introduce ourselves to the faculty presidents of dentistry and law and medicine, and really help them or really get them to know what the USC is, how their students pay into our fees, and what services they most need. So we're really very excited to, I think, for the first time that I've been at Western or I've been at Western, have the USC actually have a presence in the professional schools all week. And again, this goes into the student experience, so improving those professional students and their understanding of the USC, but also taking this as USC, so those students feel like they actually are part of the USC. Finally, I talked about this at my last, the third point here. I talked about this at my last council executive update about faculty present meetings. I've been able to touch base with all the faculty presence here at Western. Very nice to share some perspectives, hear some of their feedback, and at the same time communicate some early financial information to them and really defining the scope of what is a faculty council versus the USC and kind of how their finance systems works as well. To follow up from this, we are also the USC is planning a first time USC Faculty Council Finance training sometime September, so that we want to ensure that faculty councils are really empowered to know where their money lies and how to use their money that they have in their USC accounts. So that's the things I've been working on for upcoming stuff. This is pretty exciting. Third floor renovation. So this is a very exciting project that kind of touches on our roadmap themes here. I was able to present a very quick discussion at our student life standing committee, but I'm hoping to, I guess, keep on talking about this over the next following council meetings as well. Essentially, we're thinking of potentially renovating the wave and renovating the second floor, so the main floor of the wave, but also expanding into the third floor of the wave. If you ever looked up when you were dining, you might see that there is like a skylight almost on the third floor. We're thinking of potentially filling in that skylight, knocking down the conference rooms up on the UCC third floor, and opening up that space as a addition to the wave as a multi-purpose space as well. Things are very much still up in the air. Nothing is confirmed yet, and the exec team is doing our due diligence, engaging student consultations about how that space should be used. So during student life committee, this would be, I guess, be brought up again. And once it is mature enough, I would like to bring a presentation for full council as well. And finally, upcoming is our presidential quarterly roadmap updates. This is one of my platform points wanting to be more transparent on a timely basis about what the USC and what myself has been working on and how it aligns with the roadmap and how it aligns with the presidential platform. We're thinking of a variety of strategies to engage not just the counselors, not just the USC bubble, but all the students body in general. So for the first thing, we're thinking of various engagement strategies in September, December, February, and May. For September, what we're thinking is a kind of like a reception to highlight what the USC team has done over the summer months, what we were not able to accomplish, and also what we're working forward. So kind of a more, I guess, a bigger, a more detailed version of some of these council reports as well. And that really connects back to our platform points and our roadmap themes as well. So yeah, as for December, February, May, we're thinking of videos, we're thinking of blog posts, just a new ways for the US to be more transparent about its executives and what we've been able to do and not. So yeah, that's it for me. I'm happy to take any questions that anyone has.
Are there any questions for President Shaw at this time? Councillor Sferrazza?
Sorry, can you quickly repeat when the faculty president meetings would be again?
The finance training will be held in September, but we don't have a set time yet.
Thank you.
Are there any other questions? Okay. Thank you, President Shaw. I will now invite Vice President Sukija up to deliver her report.
Thank you, Brayden. Sorry, I won't be able to switch on my camera because my Zoom unfortunately doesn't allow me to switch on my camera and let me speak at the same time. So I apologize for that. Yeah, so I would want to start with just updating everyone on our budget recommendations. It is due November 1st, and we're currently in the process of doing our consultations and continuing those with the different administrators that are on campus, as well as the different departments. We have locked down one of the recommendations, which would be to increase USRI funding in the upcoming year to support more to increase opportunities in different departments and support more students as we have new incoming students and the population increases. Something else that I would want to bring to everyone's attention is an affordability campaign, keeping in line with the advocacy themes for the year. So this would be a year-long campaign that the UA portfolio is hoping to run. and essentially to understand more about the awareness gaps regarding affordability services on campus, and just to understand where students are having issues when it comes to affordability. Currently, we're in the process of finalizing some of the survey questions, as well as putting down a timeline for how this campaign would look like. In regards to the position papers, this was something we brought up in the advocacy standing committee last time, and the standing committee discussed how there is a need for the position papers to be more concise and more directive, in order for our advocacy to be more streamlined and effective when we're talking with Western administrators or in general with the different stakeholders. Currently working on an updated structure and a focus of how these position papers will look like, and we will be sharing that with the council soon as well. Some of the upcoming things, I highlighted the HOCO Harm Reduction Fair and the Truth and Reconciliation art exhibition event last time. Just an update on that, that those events are currently in their planning processes, and we have reached out to the partners that we're hoping to collaborate with. And I'm really looking forward to these two events in September. Um, I am also looking into some reviewing some of the academic advising structures on campus, along with the different types of student financial aids available, bursaries, as well as in general things regarding the financial services on campus in order to form the foundation of the affordability campaign. And in that vein, I'm also collecting feedback on the ITR issue that has been brought up previously. I'm hoping to understand from the registrar soon what has happened there, but I would really like everyone's feedback on what is happening in your faculties as well. With the exam integrity working group, we have a retreat coming up on August 24th, where we will be discussing some of the strategies that has previously been discussed in the past two working group meetings. I will keep the council updated on what strategies are going to be taken to Senate. And then lastly, again, for the affordability campaign, we are looking into more cost transparency around textbooks and course material for different faculties and different departments. I had a meeting with the Vice Provost of Academics, Susan Lewis, to discuss this and see if there are opportunities for us to be more cost transparent when it comes to the cost of books or the cost of like ebooks and other learning materials when it comes to enrolling for courses or prior to that, so students can plan for the year ahead. Yeah, and my best summer memory would be that my parents visited me for grad, which was great.
Thank you, Vice President Sukija. Are there any questions at this time? Seeing none, thank you again, Vice President Sukija.
Thank you.
I will invite Vice President Tizian up to deliver his report.
Hi everyone, thank you, Braden. My best summer memory is visiting my friends' grandparents with all my childhood friends, which was a great time. It's a very rare thing I feel like someone gets to do, so it was a super good experience and cool time. A major focus right now for me is the Get Out the Vote campaign ahead of the municipal election. The biggest priority being that we're making sure that students know how to vote, where to vote, and what they need to participate. We also want to make sure that students understand why municipal politics matters to them, and specifically when we're discussing issues like housing, transit, safety, and affordability. One of the events that we'll be hosting is a Pints and Politics event, which will give students the chance to connect with and speak directly to candidates, both mayoral and councilor candidates, in a more accessible and open setting with some additional programming still being planned. That connects directly to our roadmap priority of your voice on and beyond campus, making sure that students are informed, represented, and at the table. On the federal side of things, I've been getting more involved with CASA, the Canadian Alliance of Students Associations. So even as observers, we're still able to participate in committees. So I've joined both the National Advocacy Committee as well as the Federal Policy Committee. A lot of the work that has been done so far has been around staying connected with local federal officials, sharing updates across student associations, and coordinating our advocacy priorities nationally. I've also been working with with Vice President Sahija on the affordability campaign, specifically making sure that external issues like housing and transportation are represented. Within my team, my AVP Janine actually recently represented the USC at a high-level roundtable with Minister Rechi Valdez on gender-based violence, which was a great example of making sure that students' voices are represented in more important external conversations. Looking ahead now to September and October, we're planning both a transportation fair and a housing fair. So these are really focused on education and access to resources, making sure that students know what support services and information are available to them when it comes to navigating transportation and housing in London, because it can be complicated at times. And this connects very nicely to our roadmap point on improving the student experience. We're also exploring a student impact report that would highlight students and student accomplishments across London. So the idea for this is to better showcase the positive impact that Western students are having in the broader London community and help strengthen the connection in general between students and the City of London. And then Sabrina, as Vice President Sahija mentioned, we're working on the position papers, making sure that we're striving for efficiency and making sure that it's grounded in student feedback. So overall, a lot of the work right now is building the foundation for what looks like is going to be a very busy year and making sure that the USC continues to be respected and trusted in different rooms and different tables. Thank you.
Are there any questions for Vice President Tizian at this time? Okay. Seeing none, thank you, Vice President Tizian.
Thanks, Brett.
I will now invite Vice President Huck to deliver her report.
Hi everyone, I hope you're all having a wonderful night. My best summer memory has been planning a week. That's basically been my entire summer, but it's been so much fun and I've been loving it, so had to include that. So starting off strong for my outputs, our late night programming is just about finalized. So that includes the USC LNPs as well as the faculty LNPs that our faculty LSTs have been hard at work planning. We've got lots of programming ranging from low intensity to high intensity, and overall we're just in the final execution for M, N, and O weeks. So M week is actually starting this Saturday. That is the first day of training for LST. And then O week opening ceremonies kick off on the 7th of September. So very exciting. As Steve mentioned earlier, we are launching an Uber pilot program for our softs. So since our shuttles don't cover every single residential area in London, this is going to give us a structured way to make sure we can get our softs home safely after late night programming, especially after buses have ended for the night. And then we've also been working on setting up a late night food delivery initiative for our softs. So this is something that Steve had in his platform, and him and I have spent a lot of time working through what this could look like for our softs. And so we're super excited to try this out this year. And lastly, in the soft realm, I've been developing a centralized Teams channel for all softs of all constituencies so that we can coordinate and make sure everyone's receiving the same information in real time. There was lots of feedback last year about how information was being sent and received to softs, LSTs, and we're definitely looking forward to improving that this year. Another exciting thing, we have officially launched our first tier of discounted tickets for Backyard Fest. Backyard Fest is going to be a part of our bigger Purple Fest in September. I'll talk a little bit more about that after. Nope, I'm actually going to talk about that right now. So Purple Fest weekend is what's coming up. It's going to be the first weekend after a week. Lots of fun programming, including goat yoga. We're going to have a USC Dells Darty, the Backyard Fest concert, of course. The headliner is Disco Lines, if you have not heard yet. We're going to have a kickoff party on Concrete Beach and a few more fun things. So definitely looking forward to that. And then I've also been working hard at securing artists for this year's concerts, which are upcoming, and just overall mapping out the programming for the year. That is all. Thanks.
Are there any questions for Vice President Huck at this time? Councillor Sferrazza?
Because of the Uber vouchers, does that mean there's going to be less shuttles running?
No, so our shuttles are going to remain the exact same, and we will also still have taxi chits available for emergency use. This is just an additional program that Steve and I are adding specifically for students who are outside of the shuttle line. And we are going to be releasing some more information on that in the coming week.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Of course.
Are there any other questions? Seeing none, thank you, Vice President Huck. I will now invite Vice President Munawala up to deliver her report to Council.
Hi, everyone. So I'll start off with my best summer memory. Back in May, I got the chance to go to Martin Garrix with some of my friends. It was an incredible concert. He's an incredible DJ, and it was a really great time overall. So starting with my outputs, we are officially launching Rubric this coming September for all of our clubs. So if anyone here was involved in the club system previously, you know that we used Western Link in the past for all club needs in terms of things like such as submitting event proposals, if you want to send very large messages to clubs. But we've wanted sort of an upgraded feature or an app specifically that can do everything at once. So Rubric will be a service where you can sell tickets, you can promo your events, you can buy club memberships. So it's kind of like your one-stop shop for everything. And we're very excited. We're slowly starting to add clubs onto the app, and we'll be releasing more details very soon, and we'll be going through kind of an entire breakdown of Rubric at Clubs Week, which will be September 28th and 29th. In terms of the Peer Support Center, we have officially hired all of our volunteers for the Peer Support Center. We'll be having training the end of this week. And we're ready to open in September. I've made some changes to the rooms in terms of accessibility and safety. We'll be adding things like QR codes, online booking, feedback forms, and such to really improve the center and ensure that it's accessible for all students with all kinds of different needs. In terms of the WISC program, so this is our student refugee program. We have officially signed an MOU with Western. On this MOU, it highlights the key responsibilities for Western admin side of things, such as housing, the registrar, transportation for the student, such as picking them up from the airport, and as well as the USC's responsibility when it comes to providing adequate support for the students, such as a monthly stipend that we offer them for things such as clothing or technology, winter jackets, whatever that might be. We're also working with the WISC club, the WISC student club specifically. So this is it's a club under the USC, and we're in the MOU as well. We've outlined how the club will play a supporting role with the incoming refugee student, which is set to arrive this month, August 27th. And the club will be very much a supporting role. I like to call them the softs for this refugee student, just throwing events for them, providing any kind of like friendly support that they're looking for and helping them integrate into campus culture, things such as that. And we're excited to see how this new MOU will make a streamlined, simpler process for not only all the parties involved, but the student as well. In terms of upcoming, I just brought that up. Updates, we're having our club training on the 28th, 29th. And like I mentioned, we'll be going into details about Rubric and so much more. We are also launching our SAP program, which is a 24/7 mental health crisis helpline. So it will be online and in person 24/7. It will be done through the Dialogue app. And this falls under My Virtual Doctor. So as long as a student has not opted out of My Virtual Doctor, they will be able to use SAP. It's a 4-session program per issue. So every specific issue is just 4 sessions. And then, of course, if the student needs any additional support, we can absolutely look into getting that for them with their healthcare plan. In terms of coordinator initiatives, I have also hired all of my coordinators for the year. We're currently working on code cycles, so getting that up and running for September in terms of collecting the codes, getting them cleaned, promoting that, we're handing out these codes to students, things like that. We're also looking into professional development collaborations. So how can we integrate things such as different ways we can integrate the USC in professional development, be that with Western or clubs on campus. And yeah, that's what I've been working on so far. Thank you.
Are there any questions for Vice President Munawala at this time? Counselor El-Shatnami?
Just had a quick question in regards to rubric. Will it also replace storefront as well this year for clubs and faculty councils that use it?
It should replace it for clubs. I will double check on the faculty councils, but it should as well. Rubric is meant to replace everything through Western Link and the Western the cart that you're referring to. But I will get back to you on to confirm that faculty councils will be included on Rubric.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Are there any other questions? Okay, seeing none, thank you, Vice President Munawala. Lastly, I will invite Vice President Gill to deliver his report to Council.
Hello, everybody. It's golden hour, as you can see. I guess I will start off with my best summer memory. I guess I cheated by saying wedding season. I had a couple family weddings this summer, one of which was actually on my birthday. So, always gotta love weddings. Looking at specifically, I guess I'll just jump right in. So looking at outputs, one of the big things we worked on this, like before students come, is the Western Launch Program. So the Western Launch Program is run by is run by Western. And so this program is actually where they invite incoming first year students. Some people used to call it community connections, to Western's campus. And so this program is one where first year students get to take tours of Western, meet like different resources. So we as the USC had a table at this event, and it happened on 2 Fridays. Specifically on those 2 Fridays, we're able to talk to a lot of incoming first year students, learn a little bit more about them, their needs, and what they're most excited about, specifically surrounding orientation week. We were able to get a lot of signups for our O-Week Insider program that I kind of talked about last council meeting. And it was a great way to really meet some incoming students. The next thing we did was the London Pride Parade. So we were able to march in the London Pride Parade again this year. It was a really successful day where we were able to meet and network with a lot of different stakeholders in the London community, specifically regarding the support of the 2S LGBTQIA plus community in London. On that note, it was also World Cup days, the finale, so we were able to catch that as well. Um, then looking next is something I'm really proud of, which is the first year ambassador program. So we kind of identified a little bit of a gap within the groups that the USC engages with the most, and noticed that first year students don't have many formal ways of getting involved with the USC. They're not really eligible to be coordinators as the hiring process happens in advance. Same thing for our hype team. And so we wanted to have an engagement connection with first year students, specifically once they came to campus. So we're launching the first year ambassador program that aims to connect the first years directly with the USC and allows for us to learn more about the first year experience and how to improve and support it throughout the year. Then upcoming, there's a lot of things upcoming. September is going to be a pretty crazy month on our end. The biggest one that I'll probably talk about in a second is USC Day. But before that, I'll mention the concussion awareness event. So this is Rowan's Law Day on September 23rd, and this is directly from President Jaw's platform. So we're collaborating with MASC, which is the Athletic Student Council, to put on this event in the atrium to essentially bring more awareness to concussion safety and health. The big event, as I kind of mentioned, is USC Day. So I get the pleasure of planning that, which is on it's in September 22nd, if you want to put it in your calendar right now. And this is going to be a way for us to advertise the USC to the entire student body. Obviously, first year students, this will be one of their first main touch points beyond orientation week with us as the USC. But in another way, it showcases some of the things we do to all of the student body. And so USC Day is planned to be very large. It's going to be on Concrete Beach, take up kind of the entire space. A lot of the staff will be present, kind of showcasing the different areas we have. So anything from F&B to coordinators and their portfolios. And I would like to also ask council if they would like to be present as well. I know the Student Life Committee had some conversations about some feedback and improvements for USC Day. And so you can expect a registration or sign up in Slack pretty soon. So that'll be coming out in terms of boothing, tabling, and then even working at some of the other tables and booths beyond just simply the council one. But super excited to have council present at USC Day this year to really showcase the various different aspects of us as the USC. Another big event, and I'm sorry, Brayden, I didn't get to change it on my slides, was called Global Village up until 3 p.m. this afternoon, when we officially changed the name to Fusion Fest. And so Global Village is an orientation week event focusing on really bringing community and culture to Western and showcasing kind of different ways for incoming students to have a home away from home. So we're finalizing plans for a new concept. So typically, Global Village was a lot of cultural performances. This year, we want to work really closely with some of the cultural clubs in our club system to really showcase some of the ways that students can not only get involved, but feel connected to their cultures while they're at Western. Then the final thing is USC in the Wild. And so USC in the Wild is a series that the student engagement portfolio runs where we actually booth, table, and communicate with students outside of the UCC atrium. In the UCC atrium, we realize that we have a lot of reach, but we want to get the feedback of students that don't necessarily walk through our halls every day. And so USC in the Wild is a way for us to go off campus into faculty buildings and communicate with students to really learn more about their troubles and what they're interested in at the USC. And so we're looking to kind of revamp this program a little bit more. I know I've had conversations with a couple of you about including counselors and bringing counselors in a way to kind of have both of us do consultations with students at the same time, as well as other creative ideas such as Exec in the Wild and other programs to really improve this connection with students outside of the UCC atrium. And with that, there's a lot more coming, so I'm excited, but I will end my exec report there. Thank you.
Are there any questions for Vice President Gill? Okay, seeing none, thank you, Vice President Gill. We will now move into the next piece of our agenda, which is the for action section. Just give me one moment just to pull up the slides again for us. Perfect. So we will now move into the for action section of this agenda, and we will begin with the motion to ratify the 2026-2027 standing committees. The motion reads, whereas the standing committee chairs were elected by committee members at the August standing committee meetings, be it resolved that council ratify the elections of the 2026-2027 standing committee chairs from the Advocacy Standing Committee, Councillor Jasmine Antonelli, from the Governance and Finance Standing Committee, Councillor Tyson Hamilton, and be it further resolved that council ratify the membership of the 2026-2027 standing committees from the Advocacy Standing Committee, Jasmine Antonelli, Sarwa Khan, Prisha Bavshar, Faris Rahab, Himlai, Maria El Shetnui, Tishay Suleiman, Halisa Kapoor, Doreen Abdel Rahman, Amran Ranawi, Yusuf El-Kadi, Adam Zabian, Majid Ura, Noah Balu, Sabrine Kaur Sukija, and Stefan Titizian. For the Student Life Standing Committee, Emilia Sferrazza, Theodora Volpe, Gabriel Osei-Tutu, Jacob Joseph, Victoria Balogun, Sunny Lee, Yana Baltazar, Panav Sharma, Riley McNabb, Jaslyn Garcha, Naomi Ismelash, Zach Rue, Nathan McQuaig, Azad Gill, Sophie Huck, and Habiba Munawala. From the Governance and Finance Standing Committee, Tyson Hamilton, Brendan Dunn, Brendan Churchill, Camilla Tynes McKenzie, Devin Chauhan, Hashim Albaya, Dana Ongdasan, Julia Henderson, and Steve Shaw. President Shaw moves the motion. By a show of hands on Zoom, do I have a seconder? Councillor Abdel Rahman. President Shaw, would you like to speak to the motion?
Nope. But yeah, as Brayden said before, we're still going to elect a chair for Student Life Standing Committee at our next one. So for all those people in that committee, if you want to run for a chair, then that is your opportunity to do so.
Thank you, President Shaw. Councillor Abdel Rahman, do you have anything that you would like to add?
No, at this time, no.
Thank you, Councillor. With that said, are there any questions to the motion? Are there any amendments to the motion? Is there any debate to the motion? And are there any objections to voting on the motion? Seeing none, Council, please proceed to Echo 360 to vote. Sorry, Councillor Antonelli? I saw a hand there.
Sorry, that was accidental.
Okay, no worries. Council, we're just waiting on a few more votes on Echo there. So if you haven't voted already, please proceed to Echo to vote. The motion carries. Perfect. We'll now move into the motion to approve the executive reports. The motion reads, be it resolved that Council accept the executive reports for August 2026. President Shaw moves the motion, again via show of hands on Zoom. Do I have a seconder? Councillor Dunn? President Shaw, would you like to speak to the motion?
Nope.
Councillor Dunn, do you have anything that you would like to add?
Nope.
Perfect. Are there any questions to the motion? Are there any amendments to the motion? Are there any points of debate to the motion? And are there any objections to voting on the motion? Perfect. Seeing none, Council, I would again invite you to proceed to Echo 360 to vote. Council, we're just waiting on one vote on echo there, so if you haven't voted, please proceed to vote. The motion carries. We'll move into the next motion then. This is the motion to approve amendments to the Ontario Undergraduate Student Alliance policy and procedure. The motion reads, whereas the Ontario Undergraduate Student Alliance policy and procedure has completed its scheduled review, whereas the review identified several updates to improve clarity, accuracy, and alignment with current governance practices, be it resolved that Council approve the revised Ontario Undergraduate Student Alliance policy and procedure. President Shaw moves the motion. Do I have a seconder? Councillor Uda? President Shaw, would you like to speak to the motion?
Yeah, hi everyone. So this is our third motion for the one. Again, it's administrative motion. So USA Ontario Undergraduate Student Alliance policy procedure came upon its scheduled review time and is now being brought back to Council for approval. This passed through Governance and Finance Standing Committee. It basically just, if you read through it, it dictates the USC and its election procedures of our USA delegates, our representation at USA General Assemblies, how we select our student delegates, and the role of the VPEA, so Vice President Tetizian, in all of this relationship. I think there are minor administrative changes in there, but as to this is a administrative review of the policy.
Thank you, President Shaw. Councillor Uda, do you have anything that you would like to add? I'm not seeing a hand or anything, so chat there. Okay, thank you, Councillor. With that said, are there any questions to the motion? Are there any amendments to the motion? Are there any points of debate to the motion? And are there any objections to voting on the motion? Seeing none, I will again invite Council to proceed to Echo 360 to vote. We're just waiting on one more vote on this motion. So if you haven't voted, please proceed to Echo to vote. The motion carries. With that, we will move into the 4 information items for this meeting. No 4 information items were submitted during the designated period. I am not aware of any items for information at this time. That will bring us into the 4 discussion section. No 4 discussion items were submitted during the designated period. I am not aware of any items for discussion. We will then move into comments and questions from the Western community. If there are community members in the room with us, please raise your hand via Zoom. When recognized, before asking your question, please state your name for the minutes. So I will open the floor to any questions from any community members who may be with us now. Seeing none, I will then move into the new business section of this meeting. I am not aware of any items for new business. A reminder that new business should be time sensitive and require an immediate decision by council. Are there any items of new business to be raised at this meeting? Perfect. Seeing none, before we move to terminate this meeting, I want to wish everyone a safe last few days of summer and safe return back to London in September. We look forward to seeing you in person at our next meeting. But with that said, I will then move to terminate this meeting. Do I have a seconder? Councillor Lai. All in favor? Perfect. All opposed? And any abstentions? Awesome. Thank you, Council. The time is now 8:30 p.m. on August 19th. This meeting is terminated.
Thank you so much.
Everyone.
Perfect. Have a great evening, everybody.
Thank you.
Take care.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye now.
I'm so sorry, Brayden. I just have a really quick question.
Sure, Touche.
Looking in the legislative calendar, I was wondering what times the monthly meetings are going to be.